welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Deborah from the Bloom Closet, and I'm excited to show you some of our seedlings that we've planted this winter. It all started one snowy Sunday afternoon in January or maybe early February. My husband and I sat down and decided we would look through our seed catalogs that had recently been delivered in the mail. He took his list, I took my list. Most of his were vegetables, mostly tomatoes, and mine were, oddly enough, flowers. Because we had no duplicates, we ordered all of them. So this is part of what we have grown. About a quarter of what we've grown. We don't have a greenhouse, so we're doing everything with just our windowsills and tables in front of the windowsills. We have one 36-inch grow light that we put the tender seedlings under. We grow in trays and transplant when needed. We transplant all our seeds into biodegradable pots. You can plant these directly into the garden. You don't have to disturb the roots. Just dig a hole and put the whole thing in. You could slash a couple lines in the pot if you wanted to help it along, but really the roots go right through. So even if it hasn't completely biodegraded, the plant grows lovely in these. So after much tending and watering and fertilizing a little bit, we've got quite a nice crop of both flowers and tomatoes. We grow annuals, and we planted annuals that aren't readily available as plants in the garden center. For example, we grew State Farm zinnias. Did I just say State Farm? I meant to say State Fair. So the State Fair zinnias grow tall, and we knew that. We grew a few. We bought a few pots last year, planted them, and they're the tallest variety you can buy of zinnias. And my gosh, they grew over 6 feet tall. And the blooms we had on them, they never stopped. So we picked ourselves up a packet. Another really good reason to grow from seeds is you can pick and choose single colors, which you can't always. You get a mixed variety and they're never in bloom, so you never know exactly what color you're getting. So one of the varieties we grew was called Berry Basket, and they're all shades of pink, rose, and mauve. So I think they'll be gorgeous. I tend to like the pinks, mauves, blues, and whites in the garden over the reds and oranges and yellow. Just a preference. So we grew our State Fair zinnias. We also grew one of my favorites, which is a real old-fashioned bachelor buttons or centaurea. This is the annual variety, and they will have the blue bachelor button flowers on the top, and I just love them. Oftentimes they will reseed, so you'll have them for years to come, and they do multiply if that happens for you. I grew sweet peas. Sweet peas are plants that you have to stake or put on a trellis. I haven't quite decided where to put these this year. I've got to rig up a trellis or some form of holders for them. Again, because I was buying the seeds, I was able to get the color I wanted. One of the colors I chose was royal pink. So I think they'll be just beautiful. I can't wait. So that's that. Nasturtiums. Nasturtiums are kind of the unsung hero in the garden, but they're so nice. Some people might call them an herb, and some people might call them just an annual flower. You can use them as decorative. You can put them in a pot or put them right in the ground. Um, you can use the flowers; they're edible. You can eat them. You can put the petals in a salad. You can stuff the petals and with some cheese filling and put them as an appetizer. They're so pretty and versatile. We're growing a herb called borage. Borage is has a pretty blue flower on the top, a star-shaped flower with black in the center. And this is edible. The flowers are edible. Again, you can use them as garnish. You can use them as put in ice cube trays, to put in drinks or punch. They're just a pretty plant. They're a nice, large, branched. They grow about sometimes 3 feet across and 3 feet high. So they're a nice bushy plant with quite pleasing leaves. Let's get on to the vegetables. As I said, Dave likes his tomatoes, and we have a special part in the garden for the tomatoes. At the side of the house, it gets lots of sun. The soil in our garden is sandy soil, so we amend that with some manure, and everything seems to grow nice, and it's easy to dig. It's heaven, really, to be in sandy soil as far as that goes. So we grew 8 different varieties. We haven't counted, but between 80 to 100 plants, and they all are surviving and thriving inside. It'll be a few weeks before we can put them out, but they should be nice. We grow tomato plants of course, for eating, for taste, and also for the novelty. There's so many different varieties. The heirloom varieties, of course, are nice. They're the ones that aren't pristine looking. For example, they are the ones that we're growing are pretty large, not huge, but a pretty large, and they're lumpy and bumpy and so on. And let me see if I've got a picture of it here. Nope. I'll get it. Anyways, it's a lovely plant. We have tiny, teeny, tiny, probably the smallest tomato you can get, and it's called a yellow currant. So they're yellow tomatoes on a stem that resemble grapes, how they grow, and they're so cute. Use them just for eating. You can pickle them. They're quite amazing pickled. Pop a few on a plate, and they're a nice taste. Yeah, they're great. This is another huge one called Sicilian saucer. We had these growing over 1.5 pounds last year. They're beautiful, beautiful specimens. We're growing a yellow stuffer, it's called. And think of a yellow pepper, and it's very much like a yellow pepper in looks, not so much in looks, but when you cut it into it, there's very few seeds, there's very few pulp. So it's much like a pepper in that respect. You can stuff it, put it in the oven, and it's quite delightful, really. So we have a tried and true, old-fashioned but not heirloom variety called Bonnie Best. Probably came into into vogue in the 60s maybe as a market garden variety, medium size. So you see we've got, and there's more I could talk about, more varieties. You see we've got a nice variety of different colors, shapes, and sizes, and of course the time, germination time and fruiting time. So we will have lots of tomatoes, and probably we'll give some away, or maybe we'll take a stall up on the market. So I have a project I'm going to do, keeping on with the vegetables. This is really neat. It's metal of some sort, and it's it's rusted. It's made to be rusted, and I think it's such a great looking thing. I am going to plant radishes, but not just any radish. These are called watermelon radish, where usually radishes are red and then they're white inside. These are opposite. They're white, they look like eggs, and they're red inside. So they're, as you see here, I hope, I don't know if you can see all that well, the white around the outside and then the red, so you do get the double color when you slice into them. So these should be fun. I'm going to plant them up in here and hopefully get a few successions of planting if I do it right, which I will, I hope. So many things to talk about with seeds. We're very excited to get them in the ground and to see where they're going to go and find spaces for them and whatever. I do want to talk about Swiss chard. We grow the Northern Lights variety, which are red, pink, yellow, and green stems. They're fabulous. Put them in with your annuals and perennials. They're just a great addition to any border. Really neat. As are a lot of herbs. I'm hoping to do a whole little segment on herbs and maybe some unique ways in which to plant them, in which to use them, and that'll be on another segment. As for now, thanks very much for joining me today, and if you liked the video, you could give me a like, you could press the subscribe button, and also there's a little bell. You could ring the bell, and that alerts you to my next video when it comes up. Anything, I would appreciate it. Thanks for, and of course comments. Oh, I love to hear your comments. Thank you. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.